Ladies and gentlemen, today I have another edition of Shitty TV Show Reviews. About 2 years before I was born, a crappy little show began airing on ABC through Carsey Warner Productions, the same company who have produced other stupendous sitcoms like Malcolm in the Middle, Third Rock from the Sun, and Davis Rules. Roseanne Barr is known to be one of the most annoying cunts in all of television. She had a relationship with the show's co-writer Tom Arnold ending in divorce in 1994, right in the middle of the series, or the 7th season, to be more precise. The show was often regarded as being groundbreaking for being a more realistic representation of the average suburban family, and not the model family portrayed in other sitcoms that had been the recurring trend until that point in which they had first aired. The show was noted for addressing various social issues and the inclusion of gay characters, 3 of whom were regular supporting characters throughout the series. Basically, if you decide you're going to watch Roseanne, this is probably what you're going to be greeted to on your television screen. Yep. Same thing you'd find in the Prairie County, 15 or 20 miles west. This was in 1988, but I had actually seen a number of women who look like the 3 in this photo. Now, holy shit, if this TV show has actually influenced people to keep dressing like this and hang out in these depressing ugly bars, or taverns, if you decide to call them that, then this whole fucking show should be removed from syndication. If I ever have kids, I do not want any of them to view this show before they achieve a full education, completed into adulthood. Period. Jesus Christ, it's either violence in video games, or malignant dormancy. Then there's the music. The intro theme music always commences with a snazzy harmonica lick with a saxophone entering straight afterwards, and then you're hearing a full blues band ensemble, as a camera does a 360-degree pan around their dinner table, ER style. Oh, certainly, that's what I'm looking to hear when I watch a TV show about everyday working class folks. That's exactly what I listen to on a daily basis. This music really doesn't match the people in the show anyway. They may dress and talk like they're in some rural town, but they are just the lower-income individuals who hadn't attended higher education schools. When season 9 came around, they actually added vocals and lyrics to the theme, just to remind the audience again, they are blue collar and that makes them real. The lyrics they added only reveal to be a runny pile of simpleton malarkey. In each life some rain falls, but you also can get some sunshine. And so on. The composers can go fuck themselves, that crap doesn't apply to any of us here. By the 4th season, the whole show became very depressing to watch, since nobody's lives were going anywhere and they began introducing all of these stupid characters, a lot of whom ended up being gay by the final season. The characters include Roseanne herself, as Roseanne Connor, a 250-pound boat siren, the mother of 3 children and wife of her husband, Dan. She works a menial job with her sister Jackie and other friends, like Crystal. They all quit their jobs at a plastics factory at the end of the 1st season and go from other menial job to other menial job throughout the show. This woman's overall point never gets established, and you get 9 years of her slouchy posture and lazy hit tone of voice. Enough to rape a hyena's ears in just about every episode. Then there is Dan Connor, the father and husband, and a pulmonary embolism, 2 ischemia attacks, and a subarachnoid hemorrhage delivered in none other than John Goodman. He's apparently a very revered actor, although I've never seen any of the films he was in that people accolade, not even Arachnophobia. He's written to be charismatic and a fervent caregiver for his children, but that image bolstered within the first few seasons gets shit to shreds by his later actions, proving him to be a bloated, obnoxious, smarmy, and egotistically insecure asshole, sometimes speaking louder than his boat siren wife. As well as posing a loud voice, Dan, or John Goodman, had a tendency to add physicality to his comedic role. This results in him doing things like ramming an entire couch up against the front door, booming through the house and running up on the steps and up and down the staircase, shoving himself into various pieces of furniture, slamming doors, tapping on windows, rolling and jumping on the bed with Roseanne in it, and even wrestling with her on the living room couch. Keep in mind that they aren't in a real house. They are in a studio in Los Angeles that gets shared by other TV programs, so things like that couch and those stair steps were likely built with less than premium building materials, in order for the rest of the budget to be reserved for the actors' salaries and Tom Arnold's methamphetamine. It makes you wonder how much they spend on set repairs, not to mention how many toilet seats were cracked in the shared bathrooms and dressing rooms at the Carsey Warner studio. Roseanne's sister Jackie is the other adult main character. For some reason, she has no life of her own and always hangs around Roseanne, her sister's house, to eat her food and bitch to her about the various men she dates and relationships which never succeed. She never looks relaxed and becomes overly enthusiastic when taking on the wackest of jobs, like becoming a cop and a semi-truck driver. She's hardly different than that one other supporting character, Crystal, who got dumped after the second or third season, since the initial premiere date. How are these women such losers? Becky is the first child. A straight-A honor student whose real stride is to grow up to be a whore and live in a trailer park with whatever slithers her away. Hence Mark. The show's crew had to change her actress in the 6th season, replacing her with a girl named Sarah Chalk who does nothing to exhibit the traits of Becky already established with Lacey Goranson. The first actress returned in the 8th season, but even then, she kept getting switched with the other one. She must have had a bummy or something. Lacey Goranson never returned after the 8th season. How fickle of her. Overall, as far as the character Becky goes, she's an impulsive, wasteful moron. Never seeming to be all there, bogus on the sympathetic front, and simply dissatisfying to watch when the middle of the 3rd season hits. At no point after that would any audience care to root for her. And like I said before, that Sarah Chalk who took her place was totally lifeless. Darlene is the middle child and might be the most prolific of the female characters with the so-called noble poised against the grain attitude. She has a bad mumbling habit, and looks like she needs a nap all the time. She's noted for being a tomboy in the early seasons, and later went on to date a boy named David who happens to be the brother of Mark, Becky's boyfriend. Darlene's sarcasm was never that effectively executed, rendering her character absolutely boring to view once she started wearing more blacks and grunge clothes. DJ was never a very well-developed character and whose only relationship amounted to the snaggletooth girl with the unibrow whom he met in a video store. He was never given very many storylines and was mostly just there to be an armrest for Dan, his two sister whores, and Roseanne's great big knockers. How I pity the actor to be surrounded by all these misguided, quote-unquote, adult figures. He hardly had any legitimate plots or story arcs. No, most of the show consisted of monotonous dialogue among the adult characters, like Jackie, Dan, and Crystal. That might not have been so bad, if every shoot was dazzled with blowout muted color tones. It's so bad, you're better off muting the goddamn TV before changing channels or turning the whole TV off. Even if you mute the program, you would still have to bear witness to the assault of the eyes that is the set designs. Just look at this. This is Roseanne's living room. And this is their living room, after they win the lottery in the 9th season. I'm guessing this Roseanne twig is never sober. Jeez lo fucking wheeze. I don't care if they are supposed to represent blue-collar America. Send Martha Stewart over and fix this fucking living room from hell. This might be the ugliest set design in all of sitcoms and television. Granted, many sitcom living rooms look hideous, but then there are those that don't look so hideous, like on Frasier or the Mary Tyler Moore Show. Speaking of the 9th season, it has to be one of the gaudiest, greatest wastes of film for a TV show in the whole 90s. Half of the season had these bullshit episodes, where the sets are changed, as well as the time periods in some of them, and instead of regular plots, they did bullshit like a Wild West episode. Spoofs of retro sitcoms, going on Jerry Springer, going to spas, upstate New York, and action movie parodies. And none of these episodes are worth watching. I didn't catch them when they originally aired, but I did see reruns of them during summer vacation back in '05 or maybe '06. It was the worst thing on during those mornings. None of it made any sense. Too bad for them. Everything signaled as a red flag that the show wasn't going to survive any longer. I hope I never catch a glimpse of this show again. It's bad enough I had to watch a few videos to get pictures of some of the scenes to make this video. Even if I tell you everything I just said, some of you would still want to watch this fucking show. To that, I ought to leave a well-rounded synopsis of Roseanne, the comedy. Essentially, everything that happens on this show boils down to Roseanne and her friends quitting their job and attempting to keep her family's lives secure by taking shitty jobs until those aren't manageable. She has another baby in season 8, because she's ludicrous and out of her mind. Jackie gets physically abused by guys, until she finds a better man whom she marries and has a baby, too. Becky throws all her potential away in her strangely steady relationship with dipshit Mark, whom Dan winds up running a car repair business with. Mark's younger brother David gets into a relationship with Darlene, who stopped playing sports with all the boys in season 3. Dan almost fights David midway through the series. Darlene and David break up and get back together. David and Darlene get married, and this gives Dan a heart attack. They win the lottery and Darlene has a baby. Roseanne's mother attempts to kill Dan. Roseanne reveals the lottery winnings didn't really happen and that Dan actually died from the heart attack, making the whole ninth season a pointless waste of time. All the while, DJ never transcends beyond a 1.5-dimensional pet character to all the other slovenly characters, actors, and adults in the production crew for this horrible tone-deaf show that raped my early childhood. One of my biggest questions about this show is, why would two sisters, or generally speaking, adult siblings spend so much time together? For fuck's sake, they were running a lousy little diner together until the final season. This is not realistic. Neither of my parents have my aunts and uncles coming around as often as Aunt Jackie comes around. It's quite revealing of their life choices. It's probably silly of me to ask, because it is common on other sitcoms for siblings to live with or regularly discourse with each other. I don't really watch sitcoms anymore, and I probably can't, with how much schoolwork I have, among other responsibilities. Overall, just do your brain a favor, and don't watch Roseanne. If you catch it coming on your TV without realizing it, turn it off.